Good morning, team. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Dr. Jeff Musgrave. Super excited to be with you here today to discuss a really interesting case study. I'm going to be honest, I kind of made up this term because I've not seen it anywhere in the literature, not had this experience before, but I hope this is going to be helpful for someone out there talking about what I'm going to just call psychological overdose. So before we get into this very interesting case study, I want to hit you up with all the things that are going on in the world of MMOA. So if you're looking to up your Jerry game in 2023, next cohort of Essential Foundations starts today. Advanced Concepts is going to start on May 4th. And then the next opportunity to see us live is going to be a triple header on May 20th. You can see us either in North Carolina, Arizona, or California. So check the PT on Ice website. If you've not seen us on the road or you've not seen us on the road for a while, come check it out. We're always updating things, doing new things. Super fun experience. We love getting to teach it, and people have a blast. So what we're going to cover today, I want to talk about a case study of one of my own training clients and a lesson that I got to learn very recently, just in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to orient you to the case of an 85-year-old personal training client. I'm going to talk about this term that I've just completely made up. Okay, full disclosure. I'm just calling it psychological overdose. We're going to talk about what happened, what went wrong. And then the third piece of this is going to be how to recover therapeutic alliance after you make this mistake. So let's get into this case. So I've got an 85-year-old personal training client. He had been prior pretty sedentary. His confidence had been shaken from multiple falls with fractures. One was a humerus fracture, led to a total shoulder replacement, and has actually had multiple falls that resulted in a fracture. He'd been going to PT for several months at the time I met him. He described his PT as a very nice guy, but he felt like they were doing more talking than working. Even though he wasn't in great shape, had become very sedentary because of fear being on board. He described his sessions as primarily riding the bike and playing with some stretchy bands, and said that he didn't feel like he was getting a whole lot of benefit from that, wasn't really getting a challenge, and he knew he needed something different, just did not know what it was. So I had the opportunity to do some training for him. We started that in home, working on his strength, working on his balance, really drilling down to what his goals were to build his confidence, get back out walking. He wants to return to golf, and had found that he had been struggling with stairs. He actually had not been up the stairs in his own home in several years, despite being what we would describe as community dwelling, independent, older adult. So in pretty tough shape in general. We did consistent training from December, making our way all the way to present day. He was now able to deadlift 50 pounds, 5 sets of 5 with 50 pounds. I just had two 25-pound adjustable dumbbells that we're using. He was able to carry that load relatively easy all the way through the home and back. He's back to walking over a half mile with a cane, primarily for confidence, more so than actual any support. Has returned to doing stairs, up and down 3 flights of stairs, no break, with a 20-pound vest. Okay, so this man is having an incredible recovery. We've seen his trust and confidence go up and up and up. He's out in the community, going to baseball games. He's traveling out of town, really like living his life. So at this point, I felt like I had taken my time. He's getting stronger. Physically, his confidence has increased. Psychologically, his confidence has increased. He's moving well. It's time to get this man in the gym. We need some heavier weights. I'd been mentally preparing him for several weeks. Like, hey, you're outgrowing these. We need to get you in the gym where we can use some different equipment so I can really challenge you and see what's capable of. And this man loves a challenge. So I've been waiting for this day for, after a month in the home, I was like, this guy can handle some more loads. So let's get him in the gym. So I did that. I made a plan. And I think I probably mostly made this plan for me than for him. Full disclosure. Okay. He's doing 25 reps with 50 pounds pretty easily. In my head, I'm like, this guy's going to crush 100 pounds with a barbell. And this is just going to ramp up his confidence. He's going to crush this. And it's going to be a really valuable moment to further just drive his confidence and how he feels. So we get up, we're building up the weight, and he's giving me some warning signs. Okay. As I'm looking back, he's saying, how much does this bar weigh? How much do these bumper plates weigh? And I love to play coy at this point and just be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Tell me how it feels. And he was telling me pretty early on, this is feeling heavy. And I was like, well, this isn't nearly as heavy as you've been doing with adjustable dumbbells. And I just keep marching forward. I'm like, I can see physically his form's not breaking down. He's doing a good job. So I want him to continue to push. So I do build him up to that 100 pounds that I had set in my head. I was like, I know physically he can handle this, even though he's giving me some warning signs that he's starting to get worried. He's starting to get a little bit fearful. He knocks out 3 reps with 100 pounds, 3 successful lifts. And I'm celebrating. I'm excited. And he looks a little bit white. He looks a little bit pale. And physically, though, he feels okay. No pain, no discomfort whatsoever, but he seems a little bit shaken at this point. We go ahead, we do the workout, we knock it out. And I'm realizing as we're going through this that something's a little bit off. So I even check on him later that day. I'm like, hey, are you feeling okay? Did you have any discomfort? Like, I know I pushed you pretty hard. I doubled his deadlift, right? He's done a lot of reps with 50 pounds, but I pushed him up to 100 pounds and he did it successfully. So I'm like, still a win, W, checking the box. Well, I found out he starts canceling sessions. He doesn't want to come back in. He's given me some vague reasons of why he's not coming in. It's just not matching up. Continuing to check on him. And eventually I get a phone call. He's missed 2 sessions at that point, and we have a chat. And he shares with me that night, that just completely freaked him out and scared him. He actually had a night terror that he lifted that weight and it killed him. This man has lost a lot of friends in the last year that are his age or younger. Some of them that on paper look a lot healthier. And there was still a huge disconnect between what he's capable of, what he should be doing, and what he thinks he should be doing and what's safe for him. That psychological disconnect created a tremendous amount of fear and basically completely wrecked the therapeutic alliance that I had spent very slowly building over a 3-month period. Even with all these physical changes, even with a successful rep, I think sometimes we think, well, if the rep's successful, we're just going to leverage that success and it's going to build more confidence. That didn't happen, team. Completely backfired on me. Found that this gentleman was completely terrified to come back into the gym to use that equipment. I had a huge opportunity to use a powerful tool like the barbell to get him brutally strong. And instead of taking my time, giving him time to psychologically connect with what he's actually capable of, I pushed his physical limit and completely ignored his psychological limit. Huge disconnect, huge problem. I'm lucky that he was honest enough to share with me exactly what happened, the fear that created. Now I've got a job on my hands. He's agreed to come back in. So what do you do now? You probably already know. I had taken him to a new environment. I had shown him equipment that was completely unfamiliar and very intimidating to him. These big bumper plates that don't weigh very much but are huge. The barbell that he doesn't associate as being safe with him. We lost context of training. I'd been training him in an environment where he was safe, comfortable on his turf. Took him completely out of that environment, brand new equipment, didn't listen to him, and just pushed him anyway because physically I knew he could do it, but he was not able to overcome that psychological barrier. So in the MMOA division, what we did to rebuild that therapeutic alliance is I intentionally underdosed. I used all the familiar equipment. I did a very familiar warm up. I did not change a thing. I pulled one of our old plays from probably even a month ago that I knew he would be very successful. He would have a lot of fun, but would not challenge him beyond that point. It would not push the barrier when he came back, and tried to create an environment where the context, the equipment, all of that was familiar. Took all the variables out. He crushed his session. He's back to training. He had a positive outlook on continued training, but still has no interest in touching a barbell. He told me, quote, that's not for him. He's not trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not what he needs. He can do heavy things. We can push, but I created a big barrier. So tune in to see if I can restore that relationship with the barbell over time. I don't know if anyone's had that happen where the psychological piece disconnected with the physical piece, where physically he was completely capable, but psychologically there were huge barriers in his ability to feel safe with that equipment and what that wrought. So if you have any stories of what I'm just randomly calling psychological overdose, I would love to hear about it. Or if anyone has seen any research. In my quick scan, I did not find anything. So basically, the takeaways are I want to help you not make the mistake I made. So even though you've built the physical confidence and competency in the movement, you've built the physical capacity. We need to make sure that the psychological confidence is matching up with the equipment and being mindful of taking people out of the context that they're familiar with brand new equipment and how big of a barrier that is. Even though physically it may all be there, the psychological piece may not be there and can do some real damage to your therapeutic alliance. So I want to make sure to avoid this psychological overdose and make sure that there's perception of safety, even if you know physically it's safe, and then to rebuild um, how to rebuild that therapeutic alliance may require some intentional underdosage where you give them a weight that's easier than they think they need, that you know they're going to be successful with. And just you're going to have to restart and go lighter and put all the context, put them back in that environment that they feel comfortable with, reduce the variables, and build that trust back up. It can be done. If anyone has been through this, I would love to hear your experiences. And other than that, team, have a great Wednesday, and we will see you soon.